Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Fooled by Plants. Today we have something that's a little bit different than normal. Usually on this show, we try to take something that was already not plant-based and make it plant-based to fool your friends. However, this time, this is something that's already plant-based to begin with, but the catch is this is something you would probably get at a restaurant. So we're going to show you how to make a restaurant quality Fooled by Plants food at home. So this is going to be our episode on Thai peanut noodles. And if you're like me and a lot of other people, you learned to really cook when COVID hit because you couldn't order out anymore. Well, today in Pittsburgh, we've got about 18 inches of snow, half of it here already. So if I wanted restaurant quality food, it was going to have to be made at home today. So let's get started first by making the sauce for our Thai peanut noodle dish. So in your pot, we are going to add the ingredients for the sauce. So we're first going to start off with 1 can of coconut milk. This is about 13.66 ounces of coconut milk. Make sure you get all of it out of the can because sometimes the cream part of the coconut milk gets stuck in there. Great. And to that, we're going to add 1 4-ounce jar of red curry paste. 4 ounces. Now, that being said, keep in mind that every time you buy curry paste, depending on what peppers we're using it, some are going to be a little bit hotter than the next time you buy it maybe. So you might want to taste this because some people like things a little less spicy. Some people like things a little bit more spicy. So start with 4 ounces and then you can kind of judge either way. You can always make something a little bit more spicy and you can really reduce the heat on it. So we're going to put that entire 4-ounce jar of the red curry paste into the coconut cream. And to that, we're also going to add 1/4 cup of low sodium soy sauce. Just like spice, with soy sauce, use low sodium. You can always add salt to something to make it saltier. It's a lot harder to get the salt taste out. Also, we are going to add 6 tablespoons of coconut sugar, 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar. We'll get that all incorporated before we add our last ingredient for the sauce, which is the main flavor of the sauce, which is our 1/2 cup of creamy peanut butter. So we're going to add all of those into our saucepan, and we are going to cook this down until the sauce just starts to thicken a little bit. So we will fast forward until we get to the next step of this dish, which is going to be the stir fry portion. So I'm just going to fast forward and we'll come back to the stir fry. Well, now that our peanut sauce has come to a boil, we're going to set it aside, take it off the heat. It will continue to thicken while we prepare the rest of our stir fry. But now for the stir fry portion, there are 2 parts that I prepared before starting the demonstration. And the first one was making sure that I fried up some tofu. Now, how I did this was I took 2 blocks of tofu, cut them in half long ways, cut them in thirds, turn the block, and then cut them in fourths. As you can see, those make an absolutely perfect cube of tofu. I then coated them with a little bit of sesame oil, placed them on an air fryer tray, and put them in the air fryer for 400 degrees for 16 minutes. And I let the tofu sit in the air fryer as it preheated. Halfway through, around 8 minutes, you turn the tofu so that it can cook on the other side to cook evenly. The other thing that we pre-made was our rice noodles. So for our rice noodles, we went ahead and got a pot of water boiling, threw in the rice noodles, and cooked them for just a few minutes less than the recommendation on the back of the packaging because you want them to be a little bit al dente for going into a stir fry where they're going to cook a little bit more. We took them off the heat, drained them, and washed them in cold water, and then drained them again and put them in a bowl where we coated them with a little bit of sesame oil to keep from sticking until it was time for us to start the stir fry. And that's where we're at right now. We are going to start our stir fry. So in your pan that you are going to do your stir fry in, we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. And we're just going to make sure that the bottom of our pan is coated. But we want a little bit of extra oil in there because we do have a lot of veggies going into this. Now for the veggies, I have 5 ounces of shredded matchstick carrots. We'll get those started. Also, 1 whole red bell pepper that has been cut up in strips. 2 heads of broccoli cut into broccoli floret spears. And then a bunch of green onions that we have chopped up. The bunch of green onions we had about 20 single green peppers in it, and we diced up the whole. So we're going to add those, and we're going to stir fry until the vegetables have gotten to the right tenderness that we want them before adding our sauce, our tofu, and our noodles. We'll speed up and we'll come back right when we're ready to do that piece. All right, now that we've stir fried most of our veggies down, now you still want them to have a little bit of bite to them because they're going to cook for a little bit longer with the sauce. We're going to go ahead and we're going to add our sauce to our veggies. So we're going to dump our entire saucepan full of sauce into our stir fry. We're also going to add in our tofu to incorporate that. And then lastly, we're going to sprinkle in our rice noodles and get those incorporated into the rest of the mixture. It smells amazing. So at this point, you might want to reduce the heat a little bit so that you're not scorching anything. So I reduced my heat down just to help things continue to cook a little bit while we're combining. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Thai peanut stir fry. It's going to be really good. Now, to garnish this, we have crushed up some peanuts, chopped up some cilantro, and have a lime that we have quartered up. So we're going to sprinkle these on top before we serve, along with a squeeze of lime juice. So we're going to plate this up for presentation, and right after we recap this recipe, we're going to taste test it and see if this is restaurant quality food by plants. See you in a minute. And here we have our Thai peanut noodles. The carrots, the broccoli, the green onion, the tofu, the noodles, all coming together into this beautiful stir fry. Topped, of course, with crushed peanuts, some cilantro, and a squeeze of lime. So let's give it a taste and see, is this restaurant quality? I'm gonna grab some tofu, some broccoli. That was a big bite, and this is delicious. You're definitely going to make that. So if you want to learn how to cook food like this, be sure to like, share, and subscribe this video so you'll be notified every time we release a new recipe and video. If you've made this dish, why don't you go into our comment section and let us know how it turned out for you. As always, you can download or print a copy of this recipe by going to foodbyplants.com. And if you have an idea for a recipe you'd like to see us make and do a cooking demonstration on, send that idea over to foodbyplants@gmail.com. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.